Hey folks, this is Vincent Natalie with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to play Pandemic Hot Zone North America. This is a game that supports, there it is, 2 to 4 players. It's for ages 8 and up, and the average play time is about 30 minutes. This will be our first time playing this rendition, but we have played many of the other Pandemic games before. In fact, based on reading the rules of this one, this is like a mini Pandemic. I don't want to say this because it may be a difficult game, but I feel like this is like one of those My First Pandemic or My Little Pandemic. There are other tabletop games out there that have smaller renditions of it, like there's a Ticket to Ride Junior Edition. I feel like that's what this is. This is just Pandemic, but with North America only. Same rules for the most part, except there are only 3 diseases instead of 4. There's no eradicating a disease and keeping it off the board permanently. You have to cure all 3 to win the game, but even if you've cured it and knocked out all the cubes, like in regular Pandemic, you don't get to not draw them. You have to keep drawing them. So there's a couple of differences between this version. There's actually a list on the back of the rulebook as to the main differences between the 2 games. So if you want to see this, just go ahead and pause the video. That way you can see it in greater detail. But that's it. So what are we doing in Pandemic? Well, for those of you that don't know anything about Pandemic, we are working together to stop diseases from completely overrunning, well, in this case, North America. In the original Pandemic game, it was just the globe. Over here, you've got this outbreak tracker. If the outbreak tracker ever gets to the skull and crossbones, game over. If you ever have to draw cards from this deck, which helps to form our hand of cards, then it's game over. If we ever try to take cubes from the supply and we don't have any, then game over. These are the 3 different colored cubes that are in the game. Blue, yellow, and red. Those represent the 3 different diseases that are in the game. And to set up the game, you're going to shuffle the infection deck and then deal 2 cards and put 3 cubes out in those 2 locations. And then you're going to draw 2 more cards and put 2 cubes out in those locations. Then you're going to draw 2 more cards and put 1 cube in their locations. Similar to that of the original Pandemic, there's the World of Warcraft and the Star Wars Pandemic. Very similar setup mechanics there. You've also got this infection tracker over here. And as this goes up via epidemic cards, which are in our deck here, this is it was seeded. You're going to shuffle this into 3 separate piles and put there's 3 epidemic cards. You're going to put 1 epidemic card in each of the 3 shuffled piles. And as they come up, this marker will move up, and this will tell you how many cards to draw at the end of a player's turn. Epidemics are bad. We don't want them. But that is the timer of the game. Just the more this goes up, the more cubes that come out, and the harder it is to keep track of everything and keep things under control. Each player in a 2-player game starts with a hand of 3 cards. I believe in 3 plus, it's 2 cards each. There's a hand limit of 6, so if you ever go over 6, you have to discard down to 6 immediately. You could play an event card if you had one to bring your hand limit down, because you can play an event card at any time. There are rules in this game. Speaking of rules, some of the things that we did not choose, these are the other 2 roles that were included in the box. There's the Generalist and the Dispatcher. There's only 4 roles in the box compared to Pandemics. There's 6, 8, something like that. More with the expansions. There's also these additional crisis cards. You do not have to include them. They just simply make the game more complicated and harder. But we are not using that. So I know, shucks. Rulebook, again, just it's not very big. We're going to be going off of our previous Pandemic knowledge to see us through this. If we make a mistake, no big deal. Our goal is just to spread awareness. With that being said, who goes first? Well, it's based on whoever has the higher population count. Chicago, for example, is my highest. It's 2.7 million people.
There you go.
So I don't know what yours are.
1.6 is my highest.
Okay. For the record, I am the medic. And the medic, like in original Pandemic, when you treat a disease via the treat disease action, remove all the cubes of one color. Automatically remove and do not place cubes of cured diseases in your city. So if I move into a location with cubes, once that thing is cured, once a color is cured, if I move into that location, I just automatically cure it, which is nice, and get rid of all those cubes. Who are you?
I'm the researcher.
The researcher. The researcher says, give a city card from your hand to another player in your city. The card does not need to match your city. So typically, like an original Pandemic, we are both in Atlanta right now. So if she wanted to pass the Atlanta card, that's the only way we could do it. We'd have to be in the city of descriptor here. So Dallas, for example, we can only pass the Dallas card back and forth between each other. But her ability lets her pass a card without needing that. So she can feed me cards as needed without being in that city.
Was that same person last video?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. There's only 4 rolls. I shuffled them and dealt them out.
Right.
Anyway, so I'll go first. We get to take 4 actions. Then we draw 2 cards. And then we draw from here and infect. So as the medic, I'm going to focus on getting cubes off the board. I think that's just smart. So, for example, here's a quick look at the different actions you can take. It's very similar to that of original Pandemic. For 1 action, you can treat a disease by removing 1 cube. If it's been cured, then you can remove all of them, but the medic just lets you do that automatically. Share knowledge, discover a cure. You need to discard 4 cards of the same color to treat that disease, but you have to be in Atlanta in order to do that. In this Pandemic, there's only 1 research station. In the original Pandemic, you could build them as the game progressed and even fly between them. In this game, Atlanta is your only research hub, so you have to be there to cure. Then you can also drive, ferry, meaning just move to an adjacent location. You can discard a card to fly there, or you can discard the location that you're on. So I could discard Calgary and fly to Calgary if I wanted to. Or if I have the Atlanta card, I can discard Atlanta and pick anywhere I want and fly there. So that's just as an example. Okay, so again, I think my biggest goal right now is to get rid of cubes as the medic. So I've got Indianapolis and Chicago. I may want to focus on blue cards and just keep them and try and get 4 in order to cure the disease. And you have to be in Atlanta in order to do that. So what I might do is I might come over here for 1 action. I think I'm the orange one. So we'll go over here for 1 action. For another action, I'll treat those cubes there. But as the medic, I can treat all of them for 1 action. It's my special ability. So all of these are gone. That's 2. I might discard San Francisco so I can fly over here. So I'm going to discard San Francisco so I can fly over here for 3. And then for 4, I will move here. And then on my next turn, I'll treat those. So that's my turn. And now I'm going to draw 2 cards. There's another blue one. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going after blue. And then there's another red one. And now we draw 2 cards from the infection deck to add more cubes to the board. Okay, so this is Toronto. So Toronto is that one there. And Phoenix is this one here.
Okay.
And it is now your turn.
All right.
So you get 4 actions.
Maybe I'm going to... Let's see. Okay. Should I discard this card in order to fly to Phoenix as my first action?
It's up to you if you think that would be helpful. Unless you want to start working on... Well, you've got a new elite. I mean, what color are you going after? Yellow?
Probably yellow.
All right.
What I'm actually going to do is
1, 2, 3, 4, or I don't know. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying you could go move 1, move 2, and then treat these 2 cubes.
That would waste this, right?
No. You keep it. The only time you discard this is when you want to fly directly there. But you can manually just move to an adjacent location for free.
That's true. But that would be 2 actions, right?
It would. Move. And then another 2 to get rid of those 2 cubes. But... yeah. Unless you want to go to Indianapolis and treat those, because it's right next door. But then you'd have 1 more action to spend. I'm not sure what you'd do with it.
I would... See, here's the thing. I wanted to save my cards.
Yeah, go for it. The only time you need to discard is when you want to travel. You don't have to discard. You can keep cards unless you plan to travel with them.
All right, then how about this? 1, 2... 3, 4.
Yeah, so that clears out New Orleans, and that ends your turn. I'm going to give you 2 cards.
Okay. Those are...
Wrong ones. Yeah. Yes, correct. Thank you. I'm old. Monterey, and we've got an event, which is what?
Remote treatment. Play at any time. It's not an action. Return any 2 cubes from the board to the supply.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Do you want to
so-
save that for when you need it? You can play that at any time. So if you go over your hand limit of 6, you can play that to bring your hand limit down to 6.
Okay,
so you can
I'll
either
wait. I'll
okay,
wait on it in
that's
case
fine.
there's anything crazy.
All right, so we draw 2 cards. It's Havana. We're gonna have to get on yellow here pretty soon. And Boston.
Boston, no,
Boston.
my hometown.
Yep. So now it's my turn.
Uh-huh.
I am going to, for one action, treat all of these.
Not medic though.
Yeah, I love the medic. He's my favorite character. I could do 2, 3, 4, or 2 treat 3, 4. No, I can't go there because there's no line.
Well, if you're going after blue with this,
if I can get another blue card, I want to be near Atlanta. So maybe I will focus on this side of the board. I can quickly get to Atlanta and cure once I've got my 4th blue card.
and I can quickly get to Phoenix.
Yeah, okay, so I'll go, I treated for 1, so I'm going to go 2, 3, 4 to Indianapolis so I can treat that on my next turn.
Okay.
And then I'm going to draw 2 cards. I've got yellow and I've got another blue. Awesome, this is perfect. So I'll be able to go here on my next turn and treat blue. Blue will still come out. However, whenever I run into blue, well, once I cure this, whenever I run into blue, I'll immediately cure it.
Without an action?
You have, correct.
Okay.
You can treat it like I have the medic action.
Okay. And the medic is even upgraded further.
Correct.
You just run into the
Run into it and yes.
and it scares off.
The bacteria, the viruses, whatever, they just die immediately. It's my stench, I guess. I don't know.
That's funny.
So
now, here's a question. If I did the same thing with yellow, does that mean that when you run into yellow, it'll fly off
Yes.
and I still have the medic
Yes.
action?
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting.
So I have to draw 2 cards from here. We've got Guadalajara.
Guadalajara.
Yes.
Guadalajara.
Thank you. And Los Angeles. This is why I have a Puerto Rican in the house.
Even though it's in Mexico, but okay.
Well, it's the same place, right? Puerto Rico,
this
Mexico.
This right here is Puerto Rico.
No, it's not.
Santo Domingo.
No, it's over here somewhere.
Oh my
It's
God.
over here. All right, so geography. All right, so I added Los Angeles and Guadalajara.
Yes, very good.
All right, it is your turn.
Okay. Don't ask me to pronounce this one.
Tegucigalpa.
Tegucigalpa, that's what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Tegucigalpa.
Oh.
Galpa.
You're the expert.
I have no idea, actually. But I just say it in a Spanish accent.
Yeah, if you sound Spanish, then it's official. Yeah, it's
like,
fine.
Dallas can be Dallas. Dallas.
Wow. Denver?
Denver. Denver.
Oh, okay, sure.
Toronto. I'm sorry, okay. I'm
Wow. Can Chicago sound Spanish?
Chicago.
I guess.
Chicago.
You just offended every Italian.
That's how you say Chicago.
That's mine. Anyway.
Chicago. Okay. Los Angeles. Okay. I'm going to go. Why am I speaking? Okay, I'm gonna go to.
Get out of Spaniard mode.
Okay, I'm gonna go to.
Could be worse. You could be going. Hey.
No. I'll go to Phoenix.
If you hang around here
Yeah.
and get another yellow card, you can get back here and treat it real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking.
But.
Yeah, it's up to you. Whatever you. I don't want to.
I want to, because I'm getting 2 cards, right?
Yeah, so you're going to have to get rid of one of them. Either this one.
I'm going to go to Phoenix.
Okay, so you're going to fly to Phoenix?
1 action, and then 2 actions, getting rid of this one.
Okay.
And then a 3 action and a 4 action, I'm getting rid of Los Angeles.
Nice. Okay. Well, you're getting rid of the disease.
The
in Los-
disease,
You're not getting rid of the entire city of Los
Oh,
Angeles.
I wish.
Wow. Wow, shots fired. You've got another
one.
event and an epidemic.
Okay, so what goes first?
This, well, you can play those at any time, but you have
I
to
see.
resolve this whenever it comes. Now,
Okay,
you don't get to
that
keep
one.
this. So this epidemic, the way this works is increase the infection rate marker. So that's this. It goes
Ooh.
from 2 to 2. So we're still good. It's 2
Okay.
cards per turn. Draw the bottom card from the infection deck and place 3 cubes on that card, then discard it. So we're going to take a card from the bottom here. And it is Miami.
That's 3 cubes.
So 3 cubes on Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
There you go.
All right.
Copyright. Next, we intensify. Shuffle the cards in the infection discard pile and put them back on the deck. All right, so we have to take these and shuffle them up and put them right. I know, right?
They go like shuffled into the deck. Right?
No, on top. They go on top.
That's what the epidemic says?
Yes. It's always been that way. And you can read it, but every pandemic game ever, you take the discard pile and you put it on. That way, the cards that have been infected have the possibility of being, they're going to get infected again first.
That's rough.
So you have to now do 2 infections because you drew 2 cards.
Oh.
So we have to hope Miami doesn't come up. Indianapolis, we get 1 cube.
Okay.
I'll treat that. And Toronto, which is up here.
Rough.
Okay. So that's it. It is now my turn.
Okay.
I'm going to treat this for 1 action. Get rid of these Indianapolis cubes. Mm-hmm. Going here for 2. I'm going to turn these 3 blue cards in, or 4 blue cards, to treat blue. So it is now cured. Mm-hmm. And so that was 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to move here for 4 to work on that on my next turn. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's it. Now I draw 2 cards. Red and blue. Okay. So I may fly to Washington. I'm going to use blue cards for traveling from here on out because there's no reason to hoard them. And now 2 cards. There's Washington and Denver. I'm a little concerned about Miami, but
you'll get there next turn.
Well, it still may come up. Remember? So
okay.
I'd say. Well, actually, do you want to use your 1 event to get rid of 2 cubes from here just in case?
No.
Okay.
I have a plan.
You have a plan. All right.
I have a plan.
What is your plan?
My plan is doing this one instead.
This is One Quiet Night. Yep. So skip. So on your turn here, you're going to skip the drawing of 2 cubes. Mm-hmm. So that'll go discard.
All right. So let's do this. 1, 2. Wait, hold on. Oh, you're gonna go after red, huh?
I can pass you a yellow card. Well,
we would have to be on this city, right?
Yeah, but you can feed me cards, so
I know. I would have to hope for red cards. All right,
can you accept cards from anyone too, or is it just give?
I think it's just
give a city. Yeah, so I can't give this to you unless we're on Santo Domingo.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I'll do. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll make my way slowly there.
Okay.
And then I get cards.
2 cards, right? Red.
There you go.
And yellow. Perfect. So all you need to do is get to Atlanta.
Get to Atlanta.
Turn that in. And you're going to skip this phase because you played that 1 event.
Yes. Yes, now it is your turn.
So now it's my turn. I'm going to action number 1, treat Miami. I'm going to fly to Washington for 2, which is here.
And it flies away.
It goes away automatically, correct, because we cured it. And then 3, 4, and these 2 go automatically away because medic. And we cured it. Okay. So now I draw 2 cards. Montreal and an event. Borrowed time. The current player can do an additional 2 actions this turn, but I need more cards than anything else. So now I'm going to do 2. Havana.
Oh, wow, where I'm at.
Okay. And Boston. Oof. I'll take care of that next turn.
Okay.
All right. It is now your turn. You've got 6 cards, so...
Here's the thing.
You can leave Havana, and I'll fly to Santo Domingo and knock them out if you want to do your cure stuff.
Actually, that's a good idea. 1, 2... Cure this.
All right. Awesome. And yellow is now done. Yep. And now you've got...
I have 2 more actions.
We need to get red cured now somehow.
Yeah. I would have to be at Denver, right?
to give me... Well, no, you can give me cards regardless.
Are you going to Havana?
Yeah, I was going to fly to Santo Domingo, knock that out, then move here and knock that out automatically.
So that would be one...
And maybe fly back to Montreal or something. I don't know.
Hold on. Okay, I need to go where you're going.
So maybe head toward the red, because I am going to go over there eventually.
Okay.
It's just not going to be immediately.
Yeah. I still have 2 actions left, right?
Yeah.
Wait, I was here. 1,
2, you cured.
And then cure.
3.
Is cure an action?
Yes, and then you have one more action.
So I need one more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess I'll just go this way.
Okay. All right. So now you draw 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Miami and Calgary. Okay, so we have 4 red cards. If we can just meet up and give each other cards, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And you can actually, as long as we get to the same spot, you can feed them both to me.
That's why I'm trying to figure out like where you're going.
Yeah. I mean, I can just hightail it. Anyway, let's get to the infection part real quick. Guadalajara.
Guadalajara.
And Miami. Okay, so had we not done that one over here, that would have been bad. Okay, so I could fly to Santo Domingo and knock all these out, but I'm thinking maybe we should just rush the end game and I'll get to you as quickly as possible. I also have borrowed time, so I could use that to get more. I could go 1, 2, 3.
How about this? Why don't you just do... What was yours? Santo Domingo. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, what if you use your car to fly to Santo Domingo?
Oh, I see, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. And then I come to you, give you the red cards.
Oh, that works.
And
okay.
That way in your next turn you can...
And then we'll play these whenever we need to. Yeah, all right, fine. So I will do the Santo Domingo flight. Mm-hmm. So 1.
Mm-hmm. And that goes away.
That goes away automatically because we cured yellow. 2, those go away. 3, that goes away. And 4 to Atlanta. My turn is over. Event.
Oh, draw first.
Draw 2 cards. Epidemic. Okay, so now we have to take a card from the bottom there. Here we go. So it is Ciudad de Mexico.
Ciudad. City. It means
City of Mexico. Mm-hmm. All right, so now we increase that to 3.
You forgot to pick one more.
I will once I get this done.
Oh, sorry.
Epidemic cards go first priority, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so hopefully this goes on top. Mm-hmm. And now I draw a new card. Mm-hmm. Not to replace the epidemic, but for my second draw, because I draw 2 cards. Yes. Okay, so now 3 of them now. Mm-hmm. So, Guadalajara. Okay, Guadalajara. That was close. Oh, crap. Okay.
Wait, no. I'll use this event.
Okay.
It says play at any time. I'll return 2
of those
cubes.
Might as well. Okay, good idea. Okay. Safe. So 1 cube gets added.
Shoo.
And then Toronto.
Yeah.
There we go. And that's 3.
Shoo.
It is now your turn.
My turn. Okay. I'll go here.
Use your researcher action and give me 2 cards.
Yes.
One
so
with
1,
each.
2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my...
I have to discard down. I'm just going to get rid of Montreal at this.
Can you... What's the event card?
That is give me myself extra 2 actions, which I don't need. Okay. So I'm just going to discard Montreal.
With this one, I guess I will just...
You could just end your turn and be done with it. There's nothing else to do.
I'll go here.
Unless you want to take a trip.
Okay. I'll go there. Dallas.
All right. So 2 cards.
Yep.
1 good old Boston.
Oh.
And airlift. That lets you fly anywhere.
Move 1 pawn. Move 1 pawn. Any pawn.
Ooh, okay. Well, that would have been helpful before, but so it goes.
That's all right.
All right. So now 3. I doubt this will win the game for us. Washington is blue.
Yep.
And Denver is...
What about me?
Denver. Mm-hmm. And number 3 is Miami. All right. So for my turn, I turn these in.
Yep.
And we win.
Oh. That's it?
That's it. We cured 3 diseases.
Nice. A little simple, but that was good.
Yeah. So like I said, this was like a pandemic light. I would personally rather play any of the other Pandemic games.
Really?
I mean, this is like, I would say this is more like a travel version. Mm-hmm. Like if you're going on a long trip and you don't want to take the other Pandemic games, which are bigger, this will do in a pinch. Mm-hmm. But I would rather play the Warcraft one or the Star Wars one over this, just because, I don't know, there's just more meat to it. Mm-hmm. This game is a lot more simple. I really don't like the fact that there's only 4 total different rules in the box. That just bothers me.
Rules?
Yeah, as in general
roles.
Roles. Yeah, okay. ROLES, dispatcher. Like, there's a lot. I feel like now that I've played the other Pandemics, even the core game, I feel like there's a lot missing.
That's why we had to use those crisis cards.
No, we don't.
You say that there's no meat.
These just make the game harder. That's all. They don't add anything like content-wise to the game other than to make it harder. I meant like more meat and bones to think about without...
I agree. I actually really agree with that. I'd rather play The Cure just because it was more hectic.
The dice game?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked this one. This is very it was light and it was quick and I really liked it, honestly. I could see how it could get out of control, but if you manage to control it, it's pretty enjoyable, I think. I like it.
All Pandemic games have the same theme.
Oh, yeah.
Stay in control for as long as you can to get your main goal done. Mm-hmm. And the question is, how long can you maintain control? If you can maintain control for a long time and you get the right card draws, you can typically win very quickly. Mm-hmm. We still had, actually, there was only 5 cards left in this deck.
Oh, wow.
And one of them's probably the Epidemic card.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, the 3rd Epidemic card would be in here. So we were actually close to losing the game.
Wow.
It came down to 2 more turns. Cool. One for you, one for me, and there was 1 Epidemic card in here, I think.
Yeah, this is definitely a quick game.
So.
And I love this map. This is my favorite map.
North America. Gee, I wonder why. So. All right. Well, I don't have anything else to say about this. No. I would say again, I would buy this cheap for travel edition purposes, but if you have the other Pandemic games, you're going to find stuff lacking in here, I think, in my opinion. So I would rather play the Warcraft one again or the Star Wars one. That had more oomph to it.
Yeah, but if you're like a Pandemic fan, I think this is a good collection.
This is a game. This is what I would use to introduce Pandemic to non-gamers. This would be a gateway game into the other Pandemic games. Yes, that's what I would use. I would use this as a teaching tool.
Yeah, that's
is what I would use this version for.
I'm going to have to show this to my parents.
We'll see how that goes. Pandemic Hot Zone North America. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vincent Lee. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye, guys.